10 of the most overpaid NBA players in history. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Number 10. Terry Rozier. Salary $19,894,737.
On the line, long two.
It was pretty mind-baffling when it was announced that the Hornets had signed Rozier to a 3-year $58 million contract, but 10 months later, nah, just kidding, it still doesn't make sense. Both his offensive player impact plus minus of negative 1.24 and his defensive player impact plus minus of negative 1.88 are horrendous, and the team's net rating is a whopping 9.5 per 100 possessions, better when Rozier isn't on the court. He hasn't exactly been performing like a $20 million per year player. Number 9. Tobias Harris. Salary $31,034,483.
Batted away very deftly by Harris. All the way to the goal.
Tobias Harris hasn't been a completely negative asset on the court like some of the players on this list, but he's the 18th highest paid player in the league this year, yet hasn't been performing at that level on either side of the ball. He's been an average shooter from beyond the arc, his scoring efficiency is below average, and his defense has not been particularly impressive either. I sure hope he can get things together before he's set to make $40 million in 2024. But I guess the $180 million he's already guaranteed over the next 5 years won't be giving him much motivation to improve. Number 8. Chris Paul. Salary $38,506,482.
Head over to the bench. Oh, the left hand nutmegging. And what you like about it.
Alright, it feels wrong to have Chris Paul on this list. While he's definitely old, he's still one of the greatest point guards in league history and is still playing at a very high level. Absolutely nobody expected the Thunder to be on pace for 51 wins and the number 5 seed at this point in the season, but they are, and it's mostly due to the performance of CP3. Yeah, he is the second highest paid player in the league this year, which is a bit ridiculous. He would be raking over $44 million in 2022 as a 37-year-old, which will almost certainly not work out for whatever team he's signed to. But as of now, he's still a baller, and this linear regression simply considers any player making as much money as Paul to be overrated. He doesn't really belong in the same category as Andrew Wiggins and Terry Rozier. Number 7. Andrew Wiggins. Salary $27,504,630. Of course, Wiggins is on this list. He's basically the poster boy for being overpaid in the NBA. The former first overall pick was one of the most hyped prospects in recent memory, and it's not like he immediately disappointed. He won the 2015 Rookie of the Year award, putting up 17 points per game as a 19-year-old, but he simply has not improved as much as the Timberwolves anticipated when they signed him to a $148 million contract extension in 2017. He's still a rather inefficient scorer and a negative asset on defense. If playing alongside Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, if he gets the chance of course, next season doesn't spark a resurgence in his play, I doubt anything will. Number 6. Gordon Hayward. Salary $32,700,690. Unlike many other players on this list, Gordon Hayward hasn't really been disappointing at all. He's having the most efficient scoring season of his career and is averaging 17.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game. And he could probably be playing at an even higher level right now if it wasn't for the unfortunate season-ending injury in his debut for the Celtics 2 years ago. But at the end of the day, he's the 15th highest paid player in the NBA this season, and he isn't that good. Number 5. D'Angelo Russell. Salary $27,285,000. There's a bunch of players in the NBA who are really talented offensively but are negatives on the defensive end. D'Angelo Russell is one of these defensive liabilities. There's nothing wrong with his offensive player impact plus minus of 1.66, but his defensive player impact plus minus of negative 2.30 just demonstrates his negative value on the defensive end. He's a very good player, but he needs to get far closer to average on defense in order to live up to his valuation. Number 4. Kevin Love. Salary $28,900,000. Kevin Love's place in history is secure as a key member of the 2015-2016 NBA champions, but it's been downhill in Cleveland ever since the departure of LeBron James. That includes signing Kevin Love to a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. Love is a negative defender, and unfortunately, his offensive game relies on having other players facilitate for him, which he simply doesn't have in Cleveland. I think he can still be a positive player, but there's really nothing for him to do for the Cavaliers. He's certainly not worth the $29 million they're paying him this year. Number 3. DeMar DeRozan. Salary $27,739,975. Here's a wild fact. In every season of DeRozan's career, his team's net rating improved when he was off the court. This season, for instance, DeRozan's Spurs score 1.5 more points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. However, their defense also happens to allow 5.9 more points per 100 possessions with DeRozan in the mix. That's a negative 4.4 net rating for DeRozan, a player making nearly $28 million. Not good. Of course, simply looking at on-off ratings is a flawed approach due to variation in lineups, but the fact that this holds true for the 11 years of DeRozan's career and 10 years with 2 different teams is unprecedented for a player of his caliber, and it isn't that surprising if you think about it. His offensive game is predicated around the most inefficient shot in basketball, and his defensive player impact plus-minus of -2.10 makes him a legitimate liability on that end of the floor. Number 2, Mike Conley. Salary $32,511,623. The Jazz really looked exciting heading into this season. Their lineup was set to include Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles, and the underappreciated Royce O'Neal. Unfortunately, the acquisition of Conley has been a complete disappointment. Despite being surrounded by plenty of talent to open things up for him, Conley is averaging just 13.8 points per game with a lackluster true shooting percentage of 52.7%. The team actually scores 2.2 more points per 100 possessions when he's off the court. Yikes. Number 1, Russell Westbrook. Salary $38,178,000. According to our methodology, the most overpaid player in the league is the 2017 NBA MVP, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's incredible 2020 salary is the 3rd highest in the league, behind only Stephen Curry and Chris Paul, yet he's far from the 3rd best player in the league. While he has certainly improved over the course of the season, he is still an inefficient jump shooter with unimpressive defensive skills, playing alongside a superstar in James Harden, who is also best with the ball in their hands. Westbrook is certainly a net positive player, and the Rockets won't win a title without him playing well, but he is simply not worth $38 million. That much is clear. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.